a standing ovation. I love your opening.
Thank you, Andrea.
I am so excited. I feel so empowered by it. It's beautiful.
Woo, thank you. I love it too. I appreciate that.
Hi.
Hello to everyone and welcome. Welcome to my channel. And look who joined me. What a treat. This is a treat. It's like a double dose of Canada.
It is. And it does my heart good to hear your familiar tone in your voice.
I love that.
Your little Canadian accent that I'm sure we both have. You'll bring mine out even more, I'm sure.
Totally. Yeah. We were flirting backstage.
Yes.
We totally were.
As we do.
Yeah, exactly. That's what you do backstage. You flirt, put on your lipstick or your chapstick or whatever. You choose your bangs, your hair. I know I do. But yes, no, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. It's always a treat to connect with new people. And I get excited because when I bring people onto my channel, and thank you for saying yes, I get to know you a little bit. So I've got some questions. And so I'm excited. And I know that in the feedback of people in the chat family, they love it too. So some of them don't know these things about you. So I'm really excited. So thank you for being here. I know I was on your channel and I had a blast. It was great.
That was awesome.
It was wonderful. So here we are again. So just to let everybody know, what we're going to do is we're going to spend some time with some questions and conversation with Andrea. And then we will shift into some personal readings, which is really exciting. And so we'll just ask that you hold your questions because I'm simple. You know, too many tasks at once. And I'm like, yeah. So to keep Kevin on track, we'll just ask that you hold your questions kind of to the second half, and then I'll get you to post them and we'll star them and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so, it's going to be all about me first, everybody.
Totally. So. Yes, totally. Well, I know you've been getting a lot of attentions with the little fringe, the new bangs.
I just cut my bangs. What do you think? Now, I know you're professional. I don't, I think I need to make them just a little bit shorter.
Okay, here's the thing. I have a bit of a reputation for cutting a really good fringe because I'm OCD. And so in saying that, I think they're spectacular because I like that little bit of mystery. I don't like it where it's like
where you can see everything.
Yes. So it's either do like the mini or be a little mystery. And in that, it's like, maybe once a week you do a little dusting versus like, so 10 out of 10.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you, Kevin. Whew. I was nervous. I didn't know what you were going to say about my hair.
I love it. Yeah. Well done. I have to share this. This is so unrelated, but I once had this client and they came in actually for a bang trim. And they had shared that they had been cutting their own bangs, their own fringe for years and years and years. So they were so particular, but they had heard that I cut a good fringe. So they come in and we're talking away. And she actually became a client and we did some really creative things with her bangs. I would put this white piece of paper over and we would cut all these little designs. Anyways, I don't remember if it was the first visit or maybe the second, I can't remember, but relatively short into getting to know them, I asked what they used or something, and I will never forget this. She used toenail clippers. She did. That's a true story.
That's not, that would have been the last thing I thought you were going to say.
I know. So I said the same. I was a bit grossed out.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's shift gears. Let's get to know you because we know one thing about you. You didn't use toenail clippers to
No, I used actual professional shears because I know you need them nice and sharp to do a nice cut.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. So Andrea, I'm curious, first of all, Lilac Lantern. Why the name? Why and how?
Exactly. Exactly. It, as most things, it just came to me. I was thinking of, when I was doing the channel, what was I going to call it? And this came to me and how it came to me. And that's actually on the back of my card, sort of how So these three colors, the white, the pink, and the purple, are actually your top three chakras, right?
Mm.
Right? The high up, the crown, and the third eye. And they're also the colors of lilacs. And lilacs are very sensory, right? Like you can smell them really far away. They're very fragrant, you know, instantly what it is. So it's kind of a sensory thing as well, I was thinking about. And then the lantern was like guiding, or the light
Mm.
showing the way. And I don't know if I understood all of that. I know I didn't when I first made the name, but as time goes on, I start to understand it. And I think sometimes I'm the lantern, maybe sometimes I'm the light, maybe sometimes the viewers are the light. You know what I mean? Like it
Mm.
just, so it's the three high chakras, you know, the knowing and the understanding, the third eye, going through the lantern and shining that information and light forward. That's kind of where I sit with it now.
It's beautiful.
Well, thank you. And
Mhm.
it was,
And I didn't know it. I hadn't heard that before. But it felt so fitting to you, and I was actually tuning into it, and so I was like, okay, it did feel channeled. That's what I was aware of
yes.
when I was like, feeling into it. And so in that, did you have your channel before you came up with the name,
No,
or no? Oh, okay. So when did you start the channel and kind of
I
the
started the channel on July 1st, 2022. And if you would have told me years ago, or sorry, 2020, did I say 2022? 2020.
I'm like, wow, that is impressive. You've had like 3 billion views.
So if you would have told me years ago I was going to be doing this, I would never have believed it. But then, you know, things happen, and it called me,
Mm.
and I thought, I'm not going to do it. I could do it, but I'm not going to do it. You know, you get kind of scared or whatever. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to try it. I can always delete it, can change it, whatever. And I thought, if I set a date, I will honor a date. That's how my brain will work, right? Because if you don't set a date, then it just never really happens. So I thought, what day? And July 1st was coming up. I said, okay, that sounds like a good date. And then I thought, well, I better get a name. And that's when it just kind of,
Oh,
it was flowing into me. And that deck of cards I made, that also came as a full download. Um, what can I say? It was meant to be.
yeah. Did you have an idea of what it was gonna look like, what you were gonna do? Were you like
On the
sort of
channel?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was really humble at first. I never showed my face. I just showed the cards on the table.
Mhm.
Um, because again, I was still nervous, right? You know, I know I've always been psychic. You know, some of my friends know, but in general, people in like my family knows. But in general, people don't know that. So you know, it's kind of a big thing to put out there, right? I'm glad to say I don't feel that way anymore.
Mhm.
I'm not hiding in the shadows anymore about it, about being psychic. So that was really empowering. And
Yeah.
to meet this community and just feel more and more empowered, I feel great.
I love that. That's actually, I think that's part of your intention. I think that's probably one of a part of all of our intention of doing this is that it could promote or encourage somebody to show an aspect of themselves that they're a little bit fearful about showing. Because in that, it's so wonderful. On the other side of that
Yes.
fear, if you will, is the celebration and the joy and the excitement and the embrace of love from like-minded. So I love that. So take us back to, I was going to say where it all began. So- take us back to where you started to recognize your awakened abilities, your gifts, when you started to be aware
Oh,
of.
that was instantly as a child. So,
Mm.
you know, I'm going to say 3 or 4 years old. Don't know if it was before that, but I would have dreams that would come true verbatim. I would
Mm.
have feelings about people or things. I would just know things. I would just know the answer to things. We would go somewhere when I was a kid, and I would know, like, I tell my parents it's this way, and they're like, how would you know that? You
Right.
know, you're a kid. So, and then but I also quickly learned that other people weren't like that,
Okay.
including my family, right? My parents, my brother. So you start to learn maybe not to say it all the time, because not everybody's like that. And you can kind of see in people's faces when you know stuff, they're like, how do you know that? And it's like, oh, I don't know, lucky guess. But it's not. It's just I'm connected. So I would say it's been since I can remember in
Wow.
this life.
Right. I love that.
In this life, yes.
Andrea. Did you have anyone that you were feeling safe around that you could share it? Was there anyone that you looked up to in that way, or was in the demonstration of whatever they called it back in that time?
No, there wasn't anyone till I was, I think I was about 20 years old,
Okay.
and I was in a theater production, and one of the guys in the show, uh, like it was just a very local, little theater thing. It wasn't a big deal. um, he said, I can read your palm. Let me read your palm. I read palms. And I was like, I don't think so. But then I was like, okay, whatever. And he read my palm. And one of the things that just stopped me cold is he said something that no one could know. Right? It was nothing outrageous or anything. It was just something, but it's not even something you would guess. Right? It was about something in grade school. And it was just, and then I was like, oh my God. And I pulled my hand back because I realized, okay, this is someone else who has something going on. So then I was like, okay, so it's not just me. And then I studied palmistry because of that, because I was so fascinated with
Wow.
and I'm really rusty at it, but I remember I studied palmistry. I just dove right into it. I was so fascinated by it. So yeah, that was the first time I actually, like, you heard about things in whatever, but to actually meet someone, I was like, whoa.
And then to recognize that likeness.
Yeah.
Because did you have a name for it? Were you like, oh, this is like, I'm a palm reader, but just that knowing of that likeness, I think is really.
Yeah. Like he said that he could read palms and that was his thing. So I was like, okay, I knew that wasn't my thing at the time. I didn't really have, people ask me about that. I think to me, because I was born with it, it was like, I didn't give my arm a name. I didn't wonder why I had my left leg. They were just part of me. It was just part of me,
Right.
being psychic. So I didn't really name it, because it just was part of me. I don't name each strand of hair, or I'm getting at, like,
Yes. Totally.
it's a part of me.
Yeah.
And I know, well, I'll tell you, my brother, after a while, like certainly by high school, he knew
Oh, okay.
that I was, like, it was undeniable, because I would just say things while we're together and things would happen. Like, so that was at least comforting. I mean, he was never really 100% sure about it, but it was undeniable. So at least I felt like one person understood me.
Right. Totally. They see you in that way, in that capacity.
And he's psychic too,
Okay.
he's starting to come around a lot more about it and telling me things. I know. And I know I am so connected to him. It's so hilarious. I just know how he is all the time.
Interesting. That's like my sister and I.
Mm.
Yeah, we're very much the same in that way. Was there a catalyst or something, an experience that really started you on your spiritual journey? And I guess what I mean in that as
Yeah.
well is like into the professional aspect of it.
I was going to say, I've always been psychic and I never really thought of it as spiritual. Again,
right.
I just thought it was part of me, and just for some reason I knew stuff and other people didn't. I didn't know how it was happening. Spiritual wise, I did not grow up in a religious or spiritual way. Both sets of grandparents extremely religious.
Okay.
My parents didn't put that on us. They let us find out for ourselves what we wanted to believe in or follow, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
um, So I would say my spiritual journey truly has started with this channel. Like I am digging deeper into things than I ever have before, and an understanding of where we are, who I am, who I was, you know, what's my purpose. All of that's really and super highlighted as of February this year.
Wow.
Like just tons of information coming into me that I guess I never really thought about before or
Right.
asked.
Yeah. And in that, so those are some of the ways that it's been enhancing your life. Alternatively, has it been challenging, or have there been times where you're like, oh, this is tough to be with, specifically with the
Mm.
ability?
I mean, I'm just used to it, but I would say the downloads I feel are much stronger now.
Mm,
Um, well, I mean, they always were there, so I think I can wrangle them a bit better now
mm,
instead of them just downloads coming out of the blue, and now I can channel it a bit better and control it. Um, it's all, I mean, I know that we never stop learning.
mm.
And I get excited about that because no matter how much I know right now, I know that I'm going to know more later. So it just doesn't end. It's very exciting.
Yeah. So good. Um,
And by the way, it's very weird to just talk about myself. I just want everyone to know that. I don't normally
it's like rapid fire
I
questions.
don't normally, focus on,
But it's so great. You know what I mean? It's that sharing that connects us even deeper. And in that, it's like I admire it because I'm the same. I'm like, ask me a question, and I'm like, okay, but you're doing wonderfully. And I'm learning so much, and I know that the chat is as well. They're making some really great comments, so it's wonderful.
Thank you.
Professionally, when did you start offering your services like more one-on-one?
Funny, without realizing it, I've been doing that since forever. I'm sure since my 20s, where people will always come to me. They want to talk to me. They want to, just talk about their life or it's get my insight, right? Or my guidance. Because I seem to have, again, like I've had it. I didn't know back then that that's what was happening.
Right.
I knew I was psychic and had really great intuition, but I didn't realize that it was also to help others.
Mm.
And I had a really profound experience at a job I was at about 2.5 or 3 years ago. And this lady at work was having issues and she was freaking out. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. So I, brought her in a boardroom and I was asking her questions. And I dug right into her past and figured out why she was behaving the way she was. I wasn't even doing my channel then or anything. This is just me, right? Figuring. And she just sat back and was in this daze. And she's like, you've just changed my whole life, like how I think about like she said, this is the most profound moment I've ever had.
Wow.
It was amazing. And then I did the same thing with two other people in my life. And I watched the same thing happen to them. This lady a couple of years ago at work, I actually watched it happen in front of me, where it was really overwhelming to see it click and to watch her change completely. And I was like, wow, okay. I guess I'm here to help people too, right?
Mm.
And so if I can do that with readings, I think that's wonderful. I started doing them, I think, towards the end of 2020, like professionally, because I've always been doing it for free unknowingly.
So do you do the other job still, or are you doing this full time?
So I'm doing this full time now, but I am working with some friends right now on a project, so we'll see. But yeah, I feel like I've arrived. I feel like I'm the most authentic I've ever been. I mean, I'm a pretty authentic person, but
Wow.
I feel like I've really stepped into who I am and why I'm here. And it's not, I know there's more to go, but the last job I was working at, every single day, I was just like, I'm wasting my time. And I didn't know why I felt that way, but I was wasting my time because it wasn't being who I was supposed to be.
Right. Wow.
And then I found myself.
Yeah. Which leads me to the next question about community and being a part of that. I'm curious what your thoughts are of the importance of being in community.
Oh, I think for this particular community, yes, we need to be together. I
Mhm.
bet tons of you watching who have gifts yourself can probably resonate with my story where you didn't really have anyone to talk to. It wasn't something you talked about. You may have grown up in a religious family, and that was an absolute no to say that you were psychic, right?
Mhm.
Anything like that. So I think this community, there is, I tell you, every single person pretty much I've met one-on-one with readings and that have said how happy they are to be able just to talk to me and talk like where
Mhm.
I don't think anything strange. You want to tell me you had a UFO experience, or you want to tell me you're psychic, or you think you have dreams that you're, I don't make a funny face. I'm like, yeah, tell me about it. Like, I think that's incredible for this particular community and for myself. It's the group we never had. Most of us never
Mhm.
had, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there's
For
that aspect.
yourself, right, Kevin?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It was, there were moments of really deep loneliness in this. And then, getting to that place of really stepping into it and really being seen, that came with the connection of community.
Yeah.
And in it, that exchange, the sharing, the aspect of vulnerability, and just really being in the conversation. To me, that's the gift. And I think that it just keeps us wanting more and knowing that there is more to learn and experience and grow.
I think it's a safe harbor, and I
Oh,
think
totally.
it's fantastic, and I also think that we collectively can make change. This
Mhm.
group,
Yeah,
these enlightened souls.
yeah,
I think we're congregating, if that's what you want to call it, or collecting or finding each other at this time for a reason, with the technology to be able to do so.
yeah. Huge. And I'm sure people are already aware of that in their own lives, in their own experiences, being a part of this, seeing that already unfold. You, and just watching you in your demonstration with your guides, with your team, it looks so natural and it's just so easy. I want to add in there, I call you, I'm saying it to your face for the first time. It's a good thing. I call you the pendulum queen. Like, hail the queen.
Well,
Those
it's
that's mad. Yeah, that's
but I really connected. I tell you, I bought this pendulum. I'm telling you, probably 10 years ago,
it's working for you.
never picked it up, right?
Mhm,
In February of this year, I got the voice or the sound or whatever that told me it's time to pick up that pendulum.
mhm.
And I worked almost around the clock. I, would exhaust myself connecting with it, asking questions,
Yeah,
asking a million. And you guys know, if you watch me, I love to ask all kinds of questions until I started to figure out who I was, you know, in the
yeah,
big sense, who I was before, who I was talking to, I was asking and tons and tons. It took a while, with but now I just feel like, yes, it's just right there.
it's
It's right
so
there.
good.
It's just
Um,
happening.
Before I go into the second part of that question, you just made me think of another question in that, or maybe it's a comment. I don't know. I'm listening to you, so I'm like, whatever, doesn't matter. It's a question comment. And it is, what is it? Oh, the practice. You said you like being in the practice of it. And that, I think, is a shareable moment for people that are looking to expand or unveil more of their
Mhm.
abilities. It can take practice and more
Yes.
practice and practice. And in that, that can really be the stepping stone that people are looking for. So I like it that you mentioned that in it. So with your familiarity with your spirit team, what can you share about people that are also looking to develop or expand their
Mhm.
knowings relationship with their team?
Well, like you say, it takes time, it
Mm,
takes practice, experience, it takes patience,
mhm.
you know, it takes trust. And don't expect everything at once because, like I just said, we're always learning. So, like what you might learn yesterday, you're going to learn 10 other things next week. So, it
Yeah.
never, I don't think it just stops. Like it just keeps going. So, be patient. Get yourself in a safe space, like ask for it to be a safe space because you want to make sure you're connecting to the right things.
Mhm.
Um, Go into it with an open heart. Don't try to control the outcome of the conversation you have or the information you get.
Mhm.
Merely be the observer. You've got to put your ego back over here. If I hear that was I was a blue avian, which I did here, and I think, well, there's no such thing. Well, then you're ruining the whole
Right.
experience. So just observe what you learn and what you hear, and and there, Rhonda Rue says, yeah, don't give up.
Yeah, it's a process, that's for sure. You mentioned trust being a part of that, and that's the next question about if you could share an experience that profoundly deepened your trust with spirit.
There have been a few. I I think I've been tested
Mm,
in the last like I'm going to say since February of this year. It's been really profound, my learning, and it's all just been so much bigger. And there have been tests with myself and the creator. And
mhm.
I know people say, how can you say you talk to the creator? Well, I don't know what else to tell you. That's my understanding. And I can't say what it was because I just don't want to share, but I'll just say that there have been tests
Yeah.
and tests in the information I was getting or tests in my emotional strength to deal with something. It, it's been, I don't have words. It's
Mm,
been spectacular, but every single, and sometimes the tests are unpleasant or
wow.
frustrating, but it's for you to learn. And then all I can say is once you learn, you're so grateful.
Yeah.
So there was a complete, oh, there's one in particular that was such a complete test of me to believe in the creator. There's just no doubt to me.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
And we need those. We need those, in the humanness of it, we need those reminders,
Yeah.
that deepening of the trust, those experiences, and they aren't all of love and light. Some of them are really messy and yucky, and we're not separate from it. So in it, eh, those parts of it, I feel are really, I think we all can relate to it. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, lessons come in lots of ways.
Can you speak to, and just a couple more questions, then we'll do, so we'll open this
Is
up.
anyone still watching?
More people, they're so fascinated
Oh my
with
god.
you.
Oh my goodness.
It's for
I
sure.
feel so strange being
I love it.
okay.
Can you speak to grief, and if that
Ooh.
has contributed to your spiritual unfoldment, or how?
Uh, that's a huge question.
Mm,
That is a huge question. Has grief helped with my spirituality? My instant answer is no,
mm,
for some reason. These are words that are just coming out of my mouth. What I heard, like what's flowing, grief is a human experience.
mm,
And we'll talk about grief as in the loss of something or someone, of animal or person, right?
yeah.
So I just heard grief is a human experience. It's not what the others experience.
Mm,
And for me, I don't know. I don't think You mean has grief tested my strength or my beliefs?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Mm.
Grief is awful. Even the word makes me sad.
Mm. Yeah. It's a different vibration.
Yeah.
I've
It
never heard it answered like that, Andrea, and it's really that resonates. In the humanness,
yeah.
yes, but the spiritual aspect of who we are, I'm with you on that one.
Like, grief as a human
Mhm.
is unbearable. Like, I have been destroyed
Yeah.
and have barely picked up the pieces again. So, it hasn't really tested my faith one way or my belief system one way or the other.
Mhm.
But what I come to understand since doing all of this, recently with the channel and learning is like the soul doesn't die, whether
Mm.
it's an animal or a human. So
Mm.
either, grief is a human thing, a human understanding. It's not a spiritual understanding. So I don't even know how to answer that. You really kind of stopped me with that question. I
I
don't.
love it. I love what was there for you and that you went with it, and that's the perfect answer. It really is. Um, who or what inspires you?
Laughter.
So good. You're a good laugher too.
Oh, I love to laugh. I've spent my life, never mind my day. I spend my
Mm.
life trying to make people laugh. That's the first thing I've always done. I come from funny families and funny people, and if I'm not laughing, then why am I here?
Yeah.
Right? Why are we here? Even through grief, especially,
Mm.
like Irish cultures, which I'm part of, they usually kind of they laugh about everything,
Yeah.
the good and the bad. So not that instantly laugh about something like that, but um, I try to find the lightness in everything.
Mm. I feel like that's spirit driven in that encouraging to raise the vibration. And so in the humanness, we
Yeah.
measure it like good or bad. And it's like in it, yeah, we can laugh at either and all of it. And in it underneath is to raise that vibration even more.
And laughing just feels so good. And like a contagious laugh when you hear a
Mhm.
rolling laughter or something like in a comedy club or in a group of people.
Yeah.
There's nothing better. You hear a baby laugh, like there's just nothing better.
It's so good. There was this YouTube clip, and I'll have to find it and put it on my community tab. And it's this panel of people, and they all had like the funniest, strangest laughs. And one would start, and then the other, and by the end, there was like 10 of them all doing their like laughing. And excuse me, but I'm like, you're almost not able to control like going to the bathroom in your pants. It's that funny. It was so good. Anyways, I'll hopefully find it.
And I used to get in trouble in school for making everybody laugh.
Me too. I got kicked
Yeah.
out into the hall. Same thing. Right, we're the same. We totally would have.
Right? Like, why wouldn't you keep that student in the room and make everyone happy? Like, think about a teacher utilized someone's strengths and the energy they're bringing to the room.
Yeah, I love it. What gives you a sense of hope in these concerning times?
Oh, ooh, hope gives me hope. Well, my first answer instantly is animals. Like
Mhm.
animals always make me feel hopeful. Animals usually show up to me in one way or another when I'm pondering something or having deep moments. They tend to show up, and they have unconditional love. So if they're capable of it and they're putting out that energy, hopefully we pick up on it. um, I would say this community gives me hope.
Mhm.
These other like-minded people, these people who are all heart-based, love-based, and want things to move up and help everyone. It's not an individual thing. I'm not here just for me. I'm here to help be part of something, right?
Mhm.
So that gives me hope.
Love it. Speaking of this beautiful community, shall we do some
Oh my God, yes, please.
singing? Let's
Surely there must be snoring. I think we can hear them.
no, So appreciative. It's wonderful.
Like, they can't listen to me for that long.
Can you imagine if I just kept asking you questions? You're like, Heaven.
It's been 4 hours.
That's funny. All right. So
hopefully something or any of that was helpful to at least one person.
Yes, let us know in the chat. Let us know what you thought. I'm going to put this up here. So if you have questions, psychic mediumship questions, personal questions, spiritual questions, we are open to that. If you, just for time's sake, because we'll try to get through as many as we can. Andrea, for the mediumship, do you like the name and relationship, or?
What do you mean?
Like, do you want them to, if they'd like to have a message from their mom, Donna?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Okay. It just helps, I think, sometimes just the.
I thought you meant the term mediumship. Do I like it? And I was like, I don't care. It's fine.
No, not that. Perfect. All right. So I'm going to start away here. Andrea, why don't you tell us how we can, I've got your channel link in the description box. Can you talk about your cards? Because do you have 2 decks?
I actually have 3 decks.
Stop it.
So the intuition deck is the first one I got. That was a full download. Well, half of these are upside down. But anyways, very humble, but each one is an image or a color. And I tell you, they are amazing. Other people use them and they're resonating with it. Then I have the clarification cards, which are not my humble hand-drawn. So they have other things, right?
Yeah. What did you call them? The
clarification cards.
Clarification cards with the magnifying. I love it. Yeah.
And my lovely oracle deck. It's literally called the Lovely Oracle. And it's kind of old-timey, kind of feminine.
Oh, I like.
This kind of stuff. So thank you for plugging that. If you go to my channel, you'll find the link on one of my videos or on the About page. And if you want, you can look at it's the Game Crafter is the company that sells them. So if you go on the Game Crafter and type in search for Lilac Lantern, all 3 will pop up. And what a thrill that is, that people actually bought them and want them and are using them, and like other readers are using them on YouTube. It's like mind-blowing.
Yes. Well, I need to follow suit in that. What is wrong with me?
Because I'm more conceptual, like, a regular tarot deck, I don't read. I mean, I use them, but I don't know what they mean. Yeah. I've never opened the book to read about it because I just need images and colors and things to give me the story. And if you think you're psychic and you're trying, make sure you realize it's unique to you. You do not have to do it like other people.
I love that.
Maybe you hold a penny and you see an answer, or maybe you read business cards. I don't know.
Right.
It's whatever.
Yeah, I love that. Okay, I've definitely starred enough questions, so we will. Oh my goodness! There we go. Beautiful. All right, so we have more than we will get to, so I appreciate it. We will start, and I don't necessarily follow in the order that they come in. I just want to put this here because I'm not sure what this is, but I've seen it many times and I just didn't want to miss it. Juanita, Kevin, you warned me of car issues in March. I had a flat tire, had my car towed to Walmart. They couldn't start my car after starting new tires again. Oh, goodness.
Wow.
Well, I hope you weren't stranded.
No. And hopefully it gets working properly for you.
No kidding. All right. There we go. Okay, we'll start with this one. Rose flower. Can I please get a message?
I love that rose flower.
Ooh, indeed. Thank you, Pamela, for posting that. Appreciate it. Oh. I'm just going to jump into this, Andrea, if I may, because it's kind of a play off of what you just said about kind of doing things your way, and that can look really different. I pulled from this new Oracle deck, the Urban Crow, and this anomaly, if you will, that energy of the white raven, or the white crow, rather. It just feels so unique. And so what Spirit's saying about that is seeing yourself in that uniqueness and seeing it as such a beautiful standout. And it feels like I pulled a second card in it where there's been some upheaval. So in that, it just feels like not everybody's going to fully understand us all the time. And not everybody's going to like subscribe to us. And I don't just mean that on YouTube, but that as well. But in it, just not to lose your power in just being that standout, that anomaly, that beauty that sometimes people just don't understand. But when it's truly you, just be in that expression. Just really stand in that energy, because you just heard Andrea share about really standing into that aspect of self that was a calling, and just really just being in that energy, you will be seen. So it just feels really lovely in that energy, rose flower.
I got perspective. Okay, so gaining perspective on the situation. You had a card where maybe there's been some drama for rose flower. The message here is none of this matters. Zoom out, like realize that none of the drama that is going on doesn't matter. Zoom out, take a long look at everything, and then find a common ground. If you're having an issue with a coworker, or someone in your family, whatever it may be, there's always something you can connect to somebody with, right? And then start again, maybe from that common ground. So if there's drama going on, just sort of pull back, look at it again, and come at it a different way with a common ground.
I love that.
It's good advice for everybody.
Right? I'm listening to that as well. Thank you. This one's catching my eye. As we heal each other. I love that. By Perrette White. I hope I said that right. Question: what was the 3 oval white lights that came to my bed in the 1980s? I've always wondered if it had a message. Oh, interesting. Okay. Andrea, close your eyes while I use my pendulum.
Oh, I'm going to use mine too.
Of course you are. This actually, the riches. Do you know Suzanne and Wayne? They sent me this.
Oh, lovely. And what stone is that?
I'm not a stone.
It looks like it's oh, I know what that is. I have a little one. It's blue and shiny, right?
Yeah.
I can't think of the name, but I know what it is.
I love it.
Pamela, that card was the earth in the foreground or the background. Not a moon. Okay. Perrette White was.
Okay. I asked if it was otherworldly. E.T. And I got yes. Where are we here? Nope, that's the wrong deck. Go into the message. Labrador light. Goldstone? Sodalite. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm getting ET as well.
Are you?
And it's I asked if I know the name of this species, and I get a no. So I'm not familiar with the name of this species. And that they were there to observe you, and you used to be one of these in a past life. So my understanding is our soul can come in and be alien, a tree, a frog, a human, whatever on our journey, right? So in a past life, you were one of these, and they were observing you. I'm getting it was safe, so it wasn't. I don't think it was something to be afraid of. Did any of your senses light up, Harriet? When you had that experience, like, did you have ringing? Did you smell anything? Did you feel warm? Did you get goosebumps? Do you remember anything like that? I don't know if she's commented. What cards did you get, or did you throw?
Well, it's interesting. So just light energy. Yeah. So just being in that, I got the study card. So just being in that observation of study, it didn't feel threatening at all. And then the many masks card. And there, it's interesting. There's 3 masks there, and you had said the three white lights. So I just feel that it came in. And this is humor. And so I think this is so perfect. I think the exchange, the communication that happened was more of the purpose behind it, or the reason behind it. But this is funny. I hope you'll find it funny as well. It's about a tidy house. So they were actually really impressed that your house was tidy as well.
Well, they wouldn't like to come to my house.
So there you have it.
Nice. Well, that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It felt really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it did feel good. It's a good visit. My grandma, oh my goodness. I couldn't count as many times as she told me, wouldn't it be great if a UFO landed in the backyard?
Yes.
I was like, yeah, Grandma Shirley, I sure would.
Aww.
All righty.
Someone said, is it blue lapis? No, it's not. It's something. Oh, I'm sure I know it. Well, we'll figure it out.
Indeed. Lovely M. Any messages from my brother in spirit?
Blue goldstone. I think that's what it is.
Oh, is that what it is? It's definitely little gold sparklies, and it's blue. Yeah, yeah, it's really beautiful.
I think it's blue goldstone.
Oh yeah, that looks like it. Yeah, so good.
Excellent.
Okay, yeah, Andrea, just a feeling of friendship. Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, it would have been familiar.
Yeah.
They were probably from your past life as a alien name I don't know about. So where did the one go that we're going to check on now? Lovely M, is that?
Yeah, we are.
She said his name was Roberto.
Roberto. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Is there a message from Roberto?
Roberto, but I wrote down the B name. So was there an abbreviation for his name? Or there's a B name that's in connection with him? Also the significance about the month of September being important with Roberto. And have your ears been ringing? My ears just started to ring.
Well, the short form, or Robert, that's Bob. I don't know if Roberto, it's Bob as well. Bobby. Yeah. There's a B name there.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I feel like he's sensing your continued loss, your feeling of grief for him being gone. I have Union upside down, and she would see her there without your brother, lovely M. So he knows you feel that way, but he wants to make sure you heal yourself. Take the tonics you need, take care of yourself, and live in harmony, and know that, you will be together again. And he's watching over you as with your other guides around you. So yeah, I feel like he's sensing your sense of loss and wants you to heal yourself and take care of yourself and know that it's going to be okay.
Mhm.
That connection with that harmony, like that frequency, I'll say the frequency between siblings never goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, that deep connection.
Yeah.
We're saying with the B might also be the ex-boyfriend in spirit, Barry, as well. And they do that. Lovely M, if they have an opportunity to just make mention, then they will. Just into that feeling of you are not alone. And it's interesting that it's a male and a female in that heart connection, and the candles standing out to me in that. So spirit saying something about you in the connection with the remembrance with the candle. And as I felt into his energy, this card really feels just the serenity of that and just a peace about it. And so in the grieving that still occurs, just knowing that there is peace there in that. And just the final card is the amazement and just being in that wonder and that curiosity of having fun. They want us to continue our life and celebrate and be in the joy. Yes, we will never forget them. And yes, we will always be connected to them. They walk this life with us, and it's in a different way, no longer in the physicality, but they're watching us. And when we're with joy, it lights them up even that much more. So don't forget to have fun. So beautiful message.
Yeah. Oh, she said she just lit a candle for his birthday. That just
so good. They watch, they see, they walk this life with us. They're with us every moment. And we're never alone in that. So sometimes we just need the reminder. So it's so beautiful. I'm so sorry for your loss, lovely. Thank you for your question. All righty. We are. I already did that one. Let's do. I feel called to this one as well. And it's interesting that it's brother. And my dog's excited about this. Is there a Jake, Chris? Is there a Jake connected to this? My dog Jake is getting excited. And so.
And her brother passed recently. Oh my goodness, just in October.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that, Chris.
So unfortunate, brother Pat. Oh, Pat. And feeling really short of breath, Chris, and in that, like the labored breathing, I'm also aware of the highlight of the month of March. I'm curious if you would understand that. And I keep seeing horses. I'm not sure about that one. I keep seeing horses.
So, Chris, what I get is your emotions are still quite fresh and consuming almost, which totally makes sense, if your brother just passed a month ago. So he's acknowledging your emotions. Next card is cooperation. So we see her now surrounded by people. If you need help, Chris, reach out and ask people if you need to talk about your grief or whatever it is. There are people around you, or even your spirit team. If you need, if you don't want to talk to a human, it's okay to ask for help if you need it. And then I like the third message is a positive future. So it might be a little tough right now, but things are going to get much better for you in the future. So just think about that. Think about the positivity of your life and what's to come. It's really beautiful to me that all the messages are about you, Chris. Your brother, Pat, is concerned about you. That's not so much about them or anything else. It's just about you and wanting you to feel comfortable and reach out if you need help. She said he had pneumonia and he was getting treatments for cancer.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Um,
oh dear. Mm.
There's something about the horses, Chris, and then the number 44. I don't know if you're seeing that specifically, the 4. He's highlighting, and just the awareness about your just your mind full of that. And so I feel like he's just really working to ease your mind in all of the thoughts around it. And so
Yeah.
it is really focused on you. And it's an interesting card. Where is it? The Gateway card, which it's a unicorn, but not a horse. But the Gateway, I feel like there's this another layer of your enlightenment, and that he's working to kind of like activate that for you. And so in it, just be open to the communication. I feel like what's going to be discovered through this, and it's like, it's horrible to be in the loss, and especially so fresh at any stage. But there's a gateway that he's recognizing. And in that, it's your ability to be in the communication still. So really just be in, just be open to that as things kind of present. Oh, sorry, y'all. How do I get my screen back?
Oh, we can still see you. You'll find us.
When my phone rings, my gosh, my screen goes away. My computer's with that. But Chris, just not to lose that energy of you being able to be in the communication with him. And so just know that, that you are still in that communication. And I do feel that he's working to unveil more of that for you. So your own abilities in that. Yeah. And he's talking about courage right now. He is really focusing on you, just being able to step into life, into things with courage, and strip down. The courage is just choice. So he's really supporting you to move forward. So
yeah, he's very loving and kind. He's really, really concerned about you, which is very sweet.
So much love. I'm so sorry for your loss, Chris. All right.
Well, she said his birthday was yesterday. Oh my goodness. Oh. The other one, the birthday was close too. Isn't that interesting?
Oh my goodness. So tough. And thank you for always being here, Chris. All righty. Where are we?
Canada. Eh?
It's amazing. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Such a good one. I don't know what this fully means, but it caught my eye. Bobby Moran.
Oh, I think that's Prince Harry. When his book, have you seen the cover and the title of the book? So
no.
It's just his face. Obviously you know who Prince Harry is.
I do. And
it says Spare. That's the title of the book, Spare. An heir and a spare. So Prince William, and then the spare is Harry. I have goosebumps. I think it's a brilliant title, but I mean, it's also like, dude, do you know how many spares there's been before you? Like, you're not the first spare. Yeah. Right? The spare child to the throne, right? So what's going to happen when his book comes out?
I'm curious about this. Okay.
What?
It's for sure coming out. Is that a fact?
I think they delayed it, and now it's going to, I think they're trying to figure out the date. Like, do they make it come out before Charles becomes king, like coronation? Oh. Not to distract, or do they want to distract from the coronation? Who knows? That's in May, I think, the coronation. Right? May or June. We should both know this being Canadian, but
I am in British Columbia.
You're literally in British. I just think that book is so striking. The title to me, because spare. I mean, is that how he saw himself his whole life, just as a secondary,
right.
backup in case anything happened to William, because they need, they have to have someone to take the crown, right? But I will also say, there's been many spares.
This one's curious.
I do think Harry has a lot of emotional issues. So let's see.
Oh, interesting.
This is interesting. 2 cards flew out. No need to worry. You're ready. So I was reading on him. What's it going to be like? I chose to read on Harry. What's it going to be like for him when the book comes out? No need to worry. You're ready. I think he's a bit apprehensive, perhaps, to share as much about himself as he's going to in this book. But he will be okay. When it comes out, he's ready for whatever backlash or exposed he feels about it. I think it's exposure. I think he's really going to expose himself a little bit more or quite a bit more than we know him. I'm getting yes with the pendulum. Interesting. I do feel a nervousness about him with this book. I'm just laughing. Mary says, "Is that Harry, your new husband?" I don't know if my spirit team was joking with me, but they were saying that Harry's going to ask me to marry him someday. Can you imagine? I mean, obviously.
I mean,
I look great in a crown.
Totally. Yes. Did you want me to go?
Yeah, no. Yes.
You want me to stay, but you want me to read. Okay, perfect. The anomaly card came out again, which is really curious to me. And so I feel like as I'm feeling into him, that is how he sees himself. So yes, it's not surprising the title of the book. It's a little bit shocking. And I feel like he has had warning from people kind of, saying, this is what it could create. But I feel like he really is telling the story from his perspective. And so the upside down, but he's still holding on, makes me feel that it's going to be okay. The next card was the movement toward adventure. And so I feel like this will really, from his perspective, showcase who he is and allow him to be his own expression. And I feel that's a really good thing. And so how the impact is going to be for other people, it's not that he's not concerned about that, but he's even more concerned about just being in his own expression. And then this card was really interesting, and it's the straddling worlds. And I feel the influence of his mom in this. And I feel like in that, telling his story, I do feel this very spiritual awareness with him, this connection. And I feel like this is something that she would be really proud of him, because it's being in that self-expression. And so being that anomaly and kind of standing out and getting ridiculed for that, not everybody's going to subscribe to it. I feel like what's important to him as a father is to be in that demonstration. And so, I mean, I think it's going to be okay. Like, really good.
I think he needs to it feels like he needs to get this off his chest.
Yes.
And it's funny you mentioned Princess Diana. She was very present here as I was looking. She's very much around him with this.
Yeah.
To protect him or help him or give him the confidence to do it, whatever it is. She's very much with him in this book. And this feels like there's a lot from the heart from him and stuff he hasn't said before. He'll be okay with whatever happens. That's what that's what the cards were saying.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I love this question. Thank you, Bobby Moran.
Yeah.
Good one.
And look up the cover.
Oh, I will.
So simplistic. It just says spare and it's his face and then it says Prince Harry. That's it. There's no other stuff all junky all over the cover.
Yeah. And I don't know, because when you automatically said that, it was like it was, what's that called, an acronym? I thought that's actually just interesting.
Ooh.
There you go. All righty. Thank you for that question. All right. We probably have time for one or two more here. It's probably midnight where Andrea is at.
Close. It's 8 o'clock. Midnight to me.
So funny. Okay. I do remember that. Yeah, I'm going to take that away. I'm sorry. This is a good one. Marcia M. Should I move from my current location? Not loving it. Well, I think that's a good enough reason.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what the cards.
However, we must always remember, wherever we go, there we are. So is it the location that's bothering you, or is it something about you? Like your perception of where you live versus where you live. Do I even make any sense?
Yeah.
Like, are you unhappy and you think it's because it's where you are?
Yeah.
Because if you move, and you're unhappy, you'll still be unhappy, right?
Yeah.
I think that's I love that expression, wherever you go, there you are. Yeah. So, you bring all of yourself with you. So is it all in balance? Is it all in check? Are you happy? I'm talking in general, not just talking to you, Marcia.
Yeah.
Okay.
This card.
Ooh, I just got something interesting. What about rearranging the energy in the house, Marcia? Where you live? I'm getting a yes with the pendulum. Like at least until you move, right? If you still choose to move. What about changing the energy flow where you currently live? Do you move the furniture? You know what I mean? Do you move the furniture around? Do you get some crystals in there to help change the frequency and vibration of the current environment? Because I think you need some help with it. Your energy needs some help. A little refresher. Crystal, stone, metal, copper. Copper. Suggestion of copper for you. So maybe you find a nice sculpture that's copper and you put it in your living room. That something about the energy of copper will help you change the energy of where you are now.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting you say that, because I got a little headachy around it. So I feel like a lot of the thoughts, like busy mind around it. I'm going to actually, I got the weight card. And I actually pulled the second one and I got the no. And here's the thing about it. You've got free will. You could, if it's possible, you could move tomorrow. And I'm not trying to be facetious in that. It's just, I think that layer of, if it's just to change the environment, then, or if it's like it almost feels like, if it's just to run from things that are really unsettling here, then that's where the no comes in just taking a look, that before you go, just kind of getting things in place and energetically kind of cleaning that up a bit, I think is what the no means, because there is the energy of, yes, there can be movement for you, but it feels more where spirit is focusing on is your energy. And in that, so the reshifting, the kind of like, redecorating or changing up the environment that is literally around you, might give you that different feeling in it. So in that, it's a no, but it's a yes. So it's a both. And in that, I don't know, you will know. And that's the thing, just having things in place, and for the right reasons. They're focusing you on being in service. So the contribution that you make for other people, that can be not an escape, but that can be something to place your energy in when things are kind of uncertain, if you will. When we are in service, that can really be a great outlet for it. So I don't know if that confuses things, but it's
Well, I got the same. It's maybe not the time to move and maybe try some energy shifting, like we're both saying. But ultimately, you do have free will, like Kevin said, and do what's right for you.
yeah.
But sometimes we think we're frustrated in a place we're living, and it's really got nothing to do with where we're living. It's our energy field.
Yeah. I love that. All right. So
Of course, sometimes you have screaming neighbors, and that's awful.
We had a rooster.
Ah!
We had a rooster, and we live on acreage, and it's like we still had a rooster problem. Patricia, I think this is a beautiful way to close the show, and I love this. So a collective card, absolutely. So
Beautiful.
yes, thank you for that. We will indeed.
Collective card.
And she is an artist extraordinaire. Check her out on Instagram. And a little sampling all the way from Australia are those two pieces behind me there.
Oh my goodness. I was looking at those.
Patricia.
Wow. And the blue one's really drawing me in, that the blue one on the side.
Yeah. I'm not going to, I'm very tight-lipped when it comes to readings, but in all of my readings today, they made mention of the blue painting, and one even made mention of the energy of not Mother Mary, the Blessed Mary, or the Blessed Mother in blue. Is that the name? Blessed Mother?
Anyway. Oh, I can see it now.
Yes.
I see it. No wonder it's been drawing me in. I totally see the mother.
That's the message. There you all.
I have goosebumps head to toe.
Yes.
Whoa.
That was important that came out that way.
Patricia.
Oh my goodness. I got the goosebumps too.
I've been looking at the whole, it keeps drawing me in. And now, yes, I can literally see her standing there. Like this, right? Well, that's what I can see. And the top of her veil over her head. Yes. And then, yeah. Goosebumps.
So that is the message. Yes. So good. I will pull a card too.
Truth bumps. Yes, Jill. That's a good one.
Truth bumps. I love that. Yes.
Wow. Yeah. It blew my mind.
Yeah. It's interesting, Andrea, because your how you answered the grief question. They're bringing me back to that, and then the grief card is coming up, and in it, with the heaviness that we can feel in this humanness when we are in loss, it just looks so different for everybody. But in it, it's just, I don't know. I just think that the love that is there for us. The love that is there for us in these moments when things are really heavy, none of us are separate from that. So just each and every one of you to feel that outpour of love from the Blessed Mother, because we all have experienced grief.
And you know what grief really is? It's love.
Yeah.
It's that
Hmm.
wave of emotion at the loss of a love, whether it's a family, a friend, a pet, and we've had a couple people in the chat today talk about their loss, so it has been something. And grief isn't talked about enough. That's a real mental health issue, and it's a shocking and a jarring thing to go through. And I don't know, just needs to have more conversation
Yeah.
and support. So we are supporting this community, supporting everybody who's going through something like that right now, especially the two lovely ladies in the chat today.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Okay. And then I got shifting. So
Mm.
things are shifting. That's a great card, right? And who we really are. So we see the red in the background. That's your root chakra, who you are. It's shifting. We're starting to figure this all out. And who we find out who we are will activate the solar plexus chakra, what we do. So
Mm.
we'll be shifting and changing the things that we do as we ascend and enlighten, right? I'm looking forward to those days where everybody walks around and it treats everybody nice and helps everybody. I mean, what a wonderful world that's going to be. Look forward to
So
that.
beautiful. A message for the collective. So wonderful. Andrea, I love you.
This is a really beautiful show. Thank you
It
so much.
really was. Thank you. It was really special.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. And for those of you that have not subscribed to Andrea's channel, is it Lilac Lantern Tarot or just Lilac Lantern?
Lilac Lantern.
Perfect. Do subscribe to her channel. And for all of you that have not subscribed to mine, feel free to subscribe for all.
Yes.
I know there's a large amount of people that watch but don't subscribe. I'm going to invite you to subscribe to my channel.
Yes.
You don't have to watch that often, whenever you feel like it. When I have beautiful guests like Andrea on, I know you'll tune in. So each and every one of you in the chat, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your questions and listening to a part of Andrea's story, and lots of love to all of you. And so, Andrea, if there's anything you'd like to say to close.
Doesn't everyone just feel so good in our collective energy together? I always feel that way when I do a show and come and finish a show. I just feel like so happy to be in this energy. So thank you, everybody, and thank you, Ken.
You're so welcome. All right. Thank you all. We'll see you again.